Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio, so today we're going to be looking at Scizor GX. Now, to be completely clear, so nobody thinks I'm lying to you lovely ladies and gentlemen, we've not had Scizor GX revealed yet, but we do have a couple very useful bits of information which tell us a lot about what we need to know. Firstly, we know that we are getting Scizor GX in our August set Celestial Storm. And we know, from process of elimination essentially, that it's coming in Champion Road. Scizor is on the front of the pack of Champion Road. We expected Scizor GX. We know Champion Road is part of Celestial Storm. We know that we're getting Scizor GX in Celestial Storm. Ergo, we must be getting Scizor in Champion Road. Now that is incredibly significant, because we have had 2 GXs revealed so far, which are coming from Champion Road, Articuno and Salamence, both of which are basically reprints of old EX era EXs, from back when EXs were around the first time. And if we put all of that together, we know that we are getting Scizor GX, and we know that it is going to be largely a reprint of one of the old Scizor GXs. I mean, if we look at Salamence, the old Salamence gave free retreat for each of your Pokemon, excluding EXs and baby Pokemon, and the new one gives free retreat to all of your Pokemon other than EXs or GXs. It's basically the same ability. The old one had an attack that did 120 and discarded 2 energy. The new one's got an attack that does 200 and discards 2 energy, and the old one had an attack that did 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. The new one has an attack that does 120 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's very, very similar. Then if we take a quick look at Articuno, the old one had an ability which said you could pop it in the active and move a bunch of water energy to it. So does the new one, and the old one had an attack that discarded an energy to Articuno and an energy from the active. The new one's GX attack, you discard your energy and all of your opponents, although there is an extra attack there that just does 130 for free energy, i.e. very, very similar, so we can make a pretty gosh darn good prediction as to what the new Scizor's going to do. Now, in actual fact, there were 2 Scizor EXs in the old sets. There was Rocket Scizor EX from EX Team Rocket Returns, and just Scizor EX from EX Unseen Forces. Having said that, there was a weird water-type Salamence EX. We didn't get that one, the Delta species. There was a Rockets Articuno EX. We're not getting a reprint of that one. It looks highly, highly likely that the reprint we are getting is the one from EX Unseen Forces. And I feel extremely confident about this. Now, it is going to be a metal type. We have actually had grass type Scizor in the TCG in the past, because it is a bug type in the video games. We had this one from Stormfront, which was actually alright, saw a little bit of play. And we had this one from Rising Rivals, which was not alright and did not see a little bit of play. So we can assume it's going to be a metal type, and that's quite good. You're going to have Mount Coronet to try and get that energy back again. You're going to have Delmise to add a bit more damage if you wish. Don't forget we're getting the new Solgaleo, which reduces, and by reduce I mean eliminates, weakness from all of your Pokemon. Not just metal, but it's nice to have a metal Pokemon along with it. And we are also getting Metal Frying Pan, which when attached to a metal Pokemon will firstly reduce all weakness, which is nice, and secondly will reduce damage done to you by 30. Not to mention the fact that you are hitting weakness against stuff like Gardevoir and Sylveon, both of which are pretty good right now. So you're going to have a good typing to start off with. We've never had a grass type Scizor EX, and I refuse to believe we're getting a grass type Scizor GX. It's going to be a metal type. And like I've said, the Unseen Forces one is almost certainly the one we're getting a reprint of. It's got a Pokebody, which nowadays will be called an ability. If Scizor's remaining HP is 60 or less, it does 40 more damage to the defending Pokemon. Now, the numbers here are likely to be a little bit different. Stage 1 GXs nowadays have about 200 HP Sylveon or 210 Zoroark. So, you're not going to have 120 HP and be giving up 2 prizes. We're not in a Mew EX scenario here. So, it's unlikely to be 60 or less. It's probably going to be about 100 or less with 200 HP, i.e. when it gets down to half HP. And it's likely to do more damage. Is it going to do 40 more? It could, but 40 nowadays will be pretty underwhelming. I would look at this to see more like 60 more damage or 80 more damage. I mean, I don't want to dwell on this particular point because it is pure speculation. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an ability, which means when you're down to about half HP, you do a bunch more damage. How much damage will, of course, be something we need to look out for. We're not going to know the numbers until the actual card is revealed, but I feel very confident that it will look functionally like this. In terms of the attacks, 2 energy, 40 damage, reduced damage done next turn by 20, and this is absolutely something I can imagine us seeing in a Scizor card. Do a bit of damage and reduce damage done the following turn, maybe even as a single energy attack, which would be very useful indeed. And then we get the big attack. 50 damage for free colourless energy. If the defending Pokemon is evolved, it does 80 damage. Now, weirdly enough, that would almost get a KO on a Gardevoir with a Choice Band, even if it didn't see an uptick, a little bit of a power creep in terms of the damage. As it is, it would actually hit 220 and not quite get the KO. Now, thing is, we're going to need a GX attack here. And GX attacks tend to be very fancy. So maybe it's going to be, if it's an evolved Pokemon, it's immediately KO'd. Think something like Rampardos, but for evolved Pokemon. Or maybe it's going to be the second attack, the first attack, second thing on the card, which is the GX attack, being that if you do this attack, you get immunity the following turn. Think something like a Toxapex GX. Although we've also had that same thing on Dawnwing's Necrozma, so I'm not sure if they would put the same thing on 3 GXs. That does seem a little over the top. But metal Pokemon are becoming quite good at the moment, and we're likely to have an ability that does more damage when you're almost KO'd, as well as a couple of decent attacks. I'm quite excited about Scizor EX. Now, we do need to quickly mention Rocket Scizor EX. I really don't think this one's going to be reprinted. If Rocket's Articuno wasn't, and it was a different type, I refuse to believe that we're going to be getting Rocket Scizor. I suppose you can't completely discount it, but then again, it would probably be a darkness type, and that just makes no sense. The ability said that if you put any metal energy on it, it was metal type as well as darkness. And the attack, 50 damage, you can discard an energy attached to Rocket Scizor, and then search your discard for an energy and attach it to Rocket Scizor. I mean, clearly that worked with the Pokebody ability here, whereby you could discard an energy that wasn't metal, so that you could replace it with a metal to make it a metal type. I mean, this could be kind of fun. Discard a double colorless energy straight after attaching it, because you know your opponent's got an enhanced hammer. Attach from the discard so you've got 2 energy on you. Next turn, attach a third and off you go. I am fairly sure it's not going to be Rocket Scizor. Which means, bearing in mind we know we're getting Scizor GX, and we know it's coming from Champion Road, which means we know it's going to be a functional reprint of an old EX era series, and we're 90% sure it's not going to be Rocket Scizor. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting a functional reprint of this Scizor EX. Now, it's not going to be exactly the same. The numbers are going to change. But I showed you Salamence and Articuno at the beginning of the video, and I showed you how similar they were. You can expect our new Scizor to be just as similar to this old Scizor. And there we go. I've shown my working, as I like to do, and I feel very confident in my predictions here. Even if the numbers are a little bit different, we are basically getting a reprint of this Scizor. If you want, I can make a boasty video when it's announced. I'm going to try and make it not very boasty, but I will, of course, bring you a full breakdown analysis video as soon as it is revealed. There we go. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to hear from you. Give me your predictions. If you think I'm wrong, tell me why you think I'm wrong. And tell me what your predictions are for this particular Scizor. Are we excited or are we underwhelmed? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, and do check out my video game channel, Wassy Plays, where we are soon going to be hopefully hitting 1,000 subs. Yay! But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.